Soaring egg prices have more people looking for egg-laying hens right now. The new trend in the backyard chicken coop and how much it could cost you to get in the game. If you've been to the grocery store lately, you likely have noticed how expensive eggs are right now. People are scrambling to find a solution. Some are renting chickens. More Americans are flocking to backyard chicken coops for their supply of fresh eggs. So joining us with more on this rising trend is branding and consumer trend report expert Scott Baradell. Scott, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so people are really getting in the chicken game. Tell me what we need to be looking into first as far as city codes, if it's okay, things like that.
Well, it's actually pretty easy to do it. You have to look at, of course, the rules for your neighborhood, but there's 11 million Americans have backyard chicken coops now. It's become more and more common, and sales are going through the roof right now.
Isn't that wild? It's definitely interesting how one thing impacts the other. So how much does it cost to actually set this up? How much is one chicken? How much is the coop? How much will it take for us to, for the starter kit, if you will?
Well, it used to be a coop, well, like a 4-hen coop might be $500 or more, but they've really come down in price. Temu, the online retailer, is selling some for under $100. So you could get a coop for $100 that could hold 2 to 4 hens, and then you can buy chicks for just a few dollars. And they can be shipped online now through the postal service, so you can just have it all shipped to your door.
We can get the chicken shipped to us? Are you joking?
Yeah. No.
Okay. They make it easy for us these days. What is the care like for the chickens?
Well, you have to plan to spend about, depending on how many chickens you have, 10 to 20 minutes a day feeding, watering. You got to clean out the coop. That's fun stuff. And then you have to protect them against predators. And the predators can include neighborhood dogs and cats, in addition to raccoons and things like that. So it's not, it's something that does require an investment of time, but the average American consumes about 300 eggs a year, believe it or not, if you include eggs in cakes and things like that. And that adds up. If in places like California, a dozen eggs is $9.
Oh, wow. So who's moving toward this trend the most? What kind of person? Is it the restaurateur doing this? Who's doing this most?
Well, I think you have a lot of families that have moved towards self-sufficiency really since COVID. You've got more and more people who are doing home baking, making their own sourdough, things like that. And in this whole kind of homesteader movement that you might see online and social media, those are the folks who have really been leading the way in terms of, hey, we got our first egg. This is the output. It's usually about 25 eggs per chicken a month. Watching, here's how I built my coop. So I think a lot of folks online have followed their lead.
Yeah. So we know we need the egg-laying hens. There must be a need for a rooster?
No, you don't need a rooster because that's not how you need a rooster if you want to have a chick in the egg.
Uh-huh.
But just the egg itself, all you need is hens. So that probably cuts down on the drama in the coop.
Yeah, and the noise as well. Forgive my naivety there. So what do you think? Do you think this trend is going to keep going up? Maybe this is going to be a great thing for some of the folks who own those feed markets or feed stores?
Well, I don't think it's going to last just in the same way that sourdough bread baking isn't as big now as it was during COVID, but sourdough bread baking certainly is a lot bigger now than it was before COVID, and I think you're going to have the same thing here. Some folks are going to really get into it and stick with it, and a lot of folks will not. We've already hearing about people surrendering their chickens because they decided it's not for them. So that's already starting to happen. It's not for everyone.
Yeah. You got to think long and hard if this is something you really want to get into, or think of a way to rehome that chicken so they're in a good place after this happens. It's very interesting, Brandon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scott, thank you.